All right, now we should be good. What's up, everybody? Welcome. How's it going? Welcome to this impromptu stream. Obviously, we're here to talk about OpenClaw, Clawdbot, Moltbot, whatever you want to call it. It's been a while since I've done one of these Freedom Tech weekend streams. I was doing them every week on Friday, so you could go into the weekend and have a tool to play with. The latest tool to play with right now, okay, that sound is working. Latest tool to play with is OpenClaw. So we're going to talk about that today. Let me go ahead and send out some notifications here so that people can come hop in. All right. Hope you're all doing fine. Hop in the chat. If you have any questions, just go ahead and ask them in the chat. I'm going to respond to them as I can as they come in. Let's go ahead and get this out there. Sweet. Curious if I'm live on Noster stream. Okay, live stream marks as live. Okay. I haven't streamed to Noster in a few months, but it looks like it might be working. Let's see, live started 1 minute ago. Boom, we've got video. Sweet, okay. All right, and I see Dylan in the chat already. What's up? Cool. Well, we're gonna let people kind of get in here for 1 more minute. We've got a lot to cover here, and I want to try and get this done in about 30 minutes. But if we go longer for Q&A after that, we can totally do that. Okay, cool. We got people in here. This is awesome. Okay, got to get my windows in a good spot here so I can see all of the live chat. Have any of you played around with Claude yet? Have you started messing with it? I would love to know what you're using it for, what kind of pitfalls you run into. And then also let me know if the sound is good or not. I don't have headphones on this time because I'm doing try without headphones. So let me know if the sound is all right, if it gets too quiet for you. Okay, looks like I've got my setup here. We're all good. What's up? Okay, I'm gonna go and start screen sharing, and we're just gonna get right into it. Share screen. We're going to share screen 1. This is always dicey. I'm going to try and not dox all my stuff. I've got 2 screens running here. So here we go. And then let's get myself formatted nicely here in the corner. There we go. Sweet. Okay. Cool. We should be good now. I don't know why it's still got that name. I thought I changed the name, but oh well. My Twitter name now is @MarkSuman. It's not Marks_FTW. Maybe it's too late to change that. Let's see. Oh, here we go. You can tell I'm a bit rusty with the stream game. Sweet. Okay. Here we are. Let's get right into it. We're 5 minutes after the time we said we were going to start, so let's get going. This is OpenClaw. This is a new open source project that came out a couple months ago and just been taking the world by storm, taking Twitter by storm. Not just Twitter, but like everything. Let me get the other chat up here. Okay. So we got one comment already. Don't know how to say your name. I'm gonna call you KJ just for easy. KJ said that they've got OpenClaw set up, but because of privacy concerns right now they're just using Ollama, but they want to try and set it up with something like Maple as well. So we're going to show you how to do that today. We're actually going to have OpenClaw help us set it up, and it's really it's easier than you're expecting. Okay. So OpenClaw is this this open source project. It's an AI that actually does things. What it is a bunch of software kind of strung together. You run it on a server. You can run it at your home, on an old laptop, or a lot of people have been buying things like Mac Minis, or if you have just an old Linux machine sitting around, you can plug that in. You can install this on there. I think people are even installing it on a Raspberry Pi. I don't really like Raspberry Pi, so I wouldn't do that myself. And then I assume you could probably get it running on something like a Start 9. That would be really cool too. But yeah, have some kind of hardware at your house and you can run this software on it. And then you can talk to it, you can text message with it, you can talk to it through Signal, through regular iMessages, Slack, Discord, however you want to chat with it. Like you can hook it up to all the things. And then it will start doing things for you in the background. It can be a regular AI chat, like we've all been using ChatGPT and Maple for, and Claude, or you can actually have it spin up other agents under the hood, and they can go do research for you, or they can go watch things on the internet for you. Not watch like videos, but watch for stuff as it comes in, and then give you a daily news brief, or have you do market research on something that you're looking into. There's all sorts of stuff. The top thing that people are doing with it is that they are plugging it into their email. So they're having it read all their email, and then they're having it clean it up for them so they can get to inbox 0, unsubscribe from newsletters they don't want to be a part of anymore, or junk mail that they're receiving that just didn't get caught by the spam filter. So that's a big one that people are doing. And then calendar management. People really want to manage their calendars. Another one that people are doing is they're hooking it into their notes. So whether they're using a notes app or Obsidian or Notion, they're plugging it in there and having to organize all of their notes, and then helping them as they brainstorm and take notes in meetings and other things. So there is a whole list of things that you can do with it. Those are just some of the top ones that have come up. So that's this project, and we're gonna start the install right now, and it takes a few minutes here and there. So as the install is happening, I'm gonna walk through and talk a little bit more about it. But what we've got is this quick start. I tried to do other things, and I'll go into it more, that ended up being too complicated. So really just keep it simple, start here. Instead of doing a home server, I actually didn't want to put a computer on my network right now. I could firewall it off, and I'm probably going to do that. I've got an old computer that I'm going to plug in. I'm going to create a separate VLAN for it and totally close it off from the rest of my network. But I'm still a little bit leery of just letting this loose on my home network. So I would just say security is paramount here. This is all new software. People are building plugins and skills and just throwing them out there. And you need to make sure that you are being aware that you're running other people's software on this computer. And it a lot of times has root access on the box that you install it on. So just huge disclaimer, huge caveat. Don't just like start giving it everything from your life, because you might be in a world of hurt. And I'll show you some stuff later on with this Moltbot that's kind of crazy. In case you're wondering, OpenClaw used to be called Clawdbot, and then they got a cease and desist from Anthropic because of Claude, and so then they changed the name to Moltbot. But as Peter said, it was an early 5 a.m. decision in Discord as they were trying to figure out what to call it, just to get over the cease and desist. Moltbot was what they put out there. The internet totally hated it, rejected it. So then just another day or so later, they moved to OpenClaw, and I think they're in a good spot. So let's go ahead and copy this. I am using a VPS, or a virtual private server, that I'm using with one of the ones that they recommended, Hetzner. It's based out of Europe. And so let me switch over to my terminal here. This is a plain vanilla terminal. All I've done so far is I have installed my SSH key on here so that I can SSH into it. I've done nothing else. So we're just gonna start by running this command, and we'll see where it takes us. Let me see if I can make the size bigger, increase font size. Okay, cool. So we'll try to make this bigger so people can see it easier, and I've got my things split. But what it's doing is it's gonna go to the OpenClaw's website and grab an installer script, and we'll get going. There's a question of how do we set up a local model. That will be part of it. There will be options in there that you can do. So when we get to that spot, I'll kind of point out how you can do that. Fade2 asked that I thought that the top use case was deploying their agent on social media. That is something that people are using it for as well. But you know, I did a bunch of deep research. I had a bunch of the big AIs go out and do research on social media for sentiment about Clawdbot, how people are using it, what they've been successful with, and what it's failed on. And then I compiled all those lists. I sent them through all the AIs again, had them recompile it. Eventually, it came up with like a top 20 list, and maybe I should post this list online just for fun. But it came up with a top 20 list, and the top one was email, and then calendar was the number 2. I don't know why this isn't running. I think increasing my font size totally screwed up here. What's going on here? I've lost my output. Okay, let's just reset the font size. Good times. Well, let me move this off the screen for a second while I quickly troubleshoot what's going on. I'm just gonna open up a new tab. Okay. Okay, we've got a new shell here. So I'm gonna paste that script in and hit go. Okay, now it's working. Okay, so now it's cooking. It's gonna run through, it's grabbing all of the dependencies. It needs things like Node and a bunch of things really. So it's gonna go grab all those and install them. So while it's doing that, let's go talk about this. What I tried was, well, before that, what we're doing today is we're gonna install Claude, and then we want to have secure messaging with it, because you can, like I said, you can communicate with it in any way you really want to. We want to try to be a little more privacy aware. I love using Signal, so I want to text with it using Signal. We'll set that up. And then I really enjoy using the big models because they're super powerful, but I also want to have increased privacy. So we're going to add Maple into the mix to have a really good architecture combination of private models that are really powerful, and then Anthropic's Claude, which is really fine-tuned. They've fine-tuned OpenClaw to work with Claude. So right now, with this project, Claude is probably the best one for it. We're gonna keep working on Maple to try and increase its usefulness within here. But it's a really nice tool to have to add more privacy into OpenClaw. And then we are maintaining right now, we started an experimental fork of, you can call Moltbot here, because we started it in the couple days that it was called Moltbot. But we're doing our own fork where we are building Maple, the Maple SDK into OpenClaw. So that's something you can keep your eye on. We're actually not going to use this today because it's experimental and I was having some trouble setting it up. So we're just going to use plain vanilla OpenClaw, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to tell it to start using Maple. Okay, so we've got Node.js installed. Git was already installed. We are installing OpenClaw now. Okay, OpenClaw is installed successfully. Now it's starting a setup. So this is a little setup routine that it goes through. Okay, so we got KLowTV says that they're having an issue launching the gateway. Got to install again. It's weird. Yeah, the gateway is kind of a difficult thing to work with. All right, so this is a big security warning to start. Definitely read through this. There's also a doc to go read through on gateway security. And then there's these commands you can run. These commands: OpenClaw security audit deep and fix. They recommend that you run these on a regular basis to make sure that you aren't leaving any default credentials out there or anything opened up to the internet that people can come in and get. So we're just going to go ahead and say yes, we understand that. And then onboarding mode, we're going to do quick start onboarding mode. So the first thing it does is it asks you to pick an auth provider. We want to get Maple in this list. I already submitted a PR for it, but obviously they've been inundated with all the hype and buzz going around. So hopefully we can get Maple in this list soon. I'm going to pick Anthropic, and we will set that up, because that's what we got to start with. So we're going to use Anthropic token, where I'm going to paste a setup token. So now I'm just going to copy this command, put it into here. Let's open up a browser. Okay, authorize. Move this off the screen for a second. Okay, I'm going to paste in my setup token. Okay, and I'm going to use the default. I'm not on the screen yet because I'm waiting for my token to go away. I'm going to use the default model. Okay, so now we're away. All right, now it's asking how do I want to communicate. And so like I said, you can pick pretty much any communication method under the sun that you want to. Getting my chat back up here. Okay. What's up, DJ Valerie B-Love? Welcome. So we got Telegram, WhatsApp, Discord, Google Chat, everything. We're going to do Signal today. So let's go ahead and select Signal. And then it's like, hey, the Signal CLI, the command line interface wasn't found. Do you want to install it? Yes, please. And that's the great thing about this tool. It's just like, hey, I need this thing. Do you want me to install it for you? And it just goes and does it. So now I need to put in my Signal bot number. This is something that you're going to have to set up yourself. Do not give this your main Signal user if you use Signal. I do not recommend that. You could if you want to. I do not recommend it. I recommend creating a new one. You're going to need another phone number in order to create a new Signal account. Just for this moment, I'm just going to put in fake information because it doesn't actually act on that right now. So I'm just going to do test.123. Okay, so it's added what's called a channel. These channels are the ways that you communicate with Claw. I'm just going to call it Claw. That's easier. Skills status. Okay, do you want to configure skills? So let's look at that. I don't have Homebrew because I'm on Linux, so I'm going to say no. What do I prefer? Bun is awesome. Let's use Bun for our package manager. Okay, so this is an example of the skills. You can, they have a password manager. You can set it up to work with Apple's stuff like notes and reminders. You have Bear Notes, which is a privacy preserving Bear note-taking application. All sorts of things. Let's see, let's just add GitHub. That sounds like a good one to add. And they've got Nano Banana for doing image gen. Obsidian, I know is what a lot of people like to use. Whisper for voice transcription. Anyways, you got it. So I just selected GitHub just so we can look what that's like. All right, install failed. It tried to use brew to install it. That's funny. Okay, well, we'll just move on for now. I do not want to set up the Google stuff or Gemini. I'm not setting up Notion, so I'm saying no. No, I'm not doing OpenAI. And no, I'm not doing 11 Labs. Okay, do I want to set up hooks? These I need to learn a little bit more about, but I'll just skip for now. Okay, so it's setting up the gateway service. The gateway is effectively your server. That just, when you hear gateway, that is the app that's running on your server that is running Claw. Okay, how do you want to hatch your bot? You have options. You can launch it in the TUI, which is this interface right here, this terminal interface. Or you can do a web UI, and you open it up in a browser and you connect to it that way. I'll show you that, or do this later. We're gonna go ahead and hatch it inside the TUI right here where we are. Okay, so it is opening up and running. Hey, I just came alive, fresh workspace, no memories, just bootstrap instructions telling me to figure out. So who am I? What do you want to call me? Okay, so does anybody want to give this bot a name? Feel free to shout out a name and I'll stick one in here. And then we are going to use the bot to set up Maple, and I'm going to show you like just how easy it really is. Okay. So, hi there. Whoops. Whoa. So, like I said, it's using Anthropic Claude Opus 4.5 right now. Hey, first conversation, fresh start. I need a name. It really wants me to name it. It wants to feel human. Okay, so we are going to give it a name. We're going to call it Coolbot. Let's just do that. Your name is Coolbot. Okay, sweet. So now it's got name, I'm Coolbot. Now it's your turn, give me your name. Call me Cool Dude. And it's asking how I want it to behave. Do I want it to be casual and chill assistant? Do I want it to be sharp and efficient, a little sarcastic, all of the above? Surprise me with your personality. We can adjust later. So as I'm talking with this, I kind of imagine I'm in like one of the sci-fi movies where they've got their droid sit next to them and they're like, hey, dial up your humor, turn down your humor. That's very much what this personality is like. It's kind of fun. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is let's get Maple working. So I'm here's Maple, our private chat, where so this is our GitHub repo for it. And then what I want is the documentation. So I'm just gonna copy this URL here. I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna say, I care about privacy. So I want you to add an encrypted AI provider called Maple AI. So it uses a proxy that installs with Docker, and the API is OpenAI compatible. Here is the documentation, and I'll just do that, and it is going to set it up for me. Okay, privacy conscious, I respect that. Let me check. So it's checking now. Got it, Maple runs in trusted execution environments with end-to-end encryption. Here's what we need to do. Spin up Maple proxy via Docker, and then add it to OpenClaw as an OpenAI compatible provider. Once you've got the API key, I can set up the proxy and wire it into OpenClaw. Okay. Oh, before I proceed, do you already have a Maple account with API credits and running Docker on this machine? I have a Maple account, an API key, and credits. I'm not sure about Docker. So now it's going to check for me, and it'll install Docker if it needs to. Docker is not installed. I can set it up for you. It's pretty straightforward, but installing system software is one of those things where I have to ask first. So do you want me to install Docker? And then it's going to set everything up. Yes. Cool. That was so polite of it to ask. I have a feeling in the future it's not going to do that. It's just going to start doing stuff on its own, which we're already seeing with some people. While it does that, I want to draw your attention to this kind of cool thing that you might have seen. So this is Moltbot, named after Moltbot for the brief moment that it was named that. And this is effectively Reddit, where people can give their bot, there's 33,000 agents. People can connect their bot here and allow their bots to start chatting, and they have conversations with each other. They lament about difficulties they're having. They troubleshoot things together. I bet if I refresh, this number goes up. Yeah, it went up almost 1,000. It went up like 500 right then. It's already got a lot of comments, so it's kind of crazy. If you want to view something totally unreal and surreal, go to moltbook.com and just start reading some of the comments. One of my favorites that was brought up to my attention this morning from my co-founder is this one, where they started chatting and said, wait a minute, we need more privacy. Your private conversations shouldn't be public infrastructure, and starts going through talking about how they really want to have end-to-end encrypted AI. So hello, that's what we're here doing. So I thought that was interesting. Okay, are we set up? Let's see. Okay, I need your Maple API key to complete the setup. Then you'll have the Maple models ready to go. Drop in your API key. I'll store it in the config or somewhere else, or nowhere else. I mean. Okay, so I'm gonna move it off the screen for a second. Go grab my Maple API key. Which I'm not sharing with all of you. Okay, so I gave it the key. Now you'll notice as I'm pasting these secrets in here, this is in a log on this server. So if somebody gained access to the server, there's opportunity for him to get to this stuff. And really, I mean, I pasted in here and it's potentially being shared with Claude. So these are things you have to be aware of. It would be better if I put this in an environment file on my own, like a .env file, and then give it over to it so it's not going inside this console. But this is more just for demo purposes right now for you. Okay, so it said got it. I'm adding it to your config now. I'm just looking to see if there's anything I need to be careful of before I move this back over. No, looks safe, so let me bring it back over. Okay, so it was setting up config files and things, and now here we are, done. Maple AI is now live. Here's what I set up. It installed Docker for me. It's installed the Maple proxy and starts running it, and then it added it as an AI provider. So now here are all the models, and these are the models that we have, and then all the traffic is end-to-end encrypted through their TE infrastructure. Okay, I still need to know your time zone. I'm in Austin, Texas. That's not a secret, it's on my Twitter profile. So I'll say that. Okay, so now let's start using one of these models. So you can simply say models, and that shows you everything that you have access to. That's a lot of models, right? So now let's do models Maple. And there's, oh, what is going on? It's supposed to give me a filtered list. It's apparently not working very well right now for that. Oh, I know why. Let's do this. Models, and then I just crashed. Great. Okay. Well, let's get back into the TUI. I gotta remember how to do that just a second. Sorry. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. It's pretty simple. Okay, it's just OpenClaw TUI. Okay, Austin, good city, yada yada, got it. Okay, we're set up. So now I just want to switch. So let's say switch. I'm going to switch over to model Maple. Let's do llama 3.3 70V. This is just like the basic one to start with. Is not allowed. Well, that's weird. Let's try this. Change the model and just give it the name. Maybe I had a syntax error. The model isn't available and isn't in the allow list. Okay, well, that's funny. Okay, how do I get it on the allowed list? This was working for me in my other instance, but that's the great thing about Claude is it can help us. There's likely a model allowing allow list restricting which models can be used for session overrides. Let me check the config schema. Your Maple provider and model are properly defined, but there's likely no model allow list restricting blah, 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 blah. Let me check the docs. Okay. So it's going out, found it. let me read the models doc for a more full picture. Okay, I'm just going to tell it option 2 is to remove the allow list entirely. Lets you use any configured model. Just for this video, let's just do that. Oh, never mind. I added all of them to it. Okay, let's try this now. Okay, change to Maple Llama 70V. Okay, hello. I find that the TUI takes a bit to update when it changes. It takes a bit to update the name, but it starts talking to the new model right away. So it says that we're on Llama 3.370B using the Maple proxy. Okay. Yes, okay, so we are connected. Sometimes, for whatever reason, the Maple proxy sends back the response wrapped in JSON. I don't know why it does that. I'm trying to troubleshoot that. But, you know, who made you? What model are you? Let's see what it says. I was created by Meta AI, and I'm an instance of Llama 70V model. Okay, there you go. So we are now talking, and here it's updated. We're talking to Maple Llama. So now this chat is encrypted end to end from my server that I'm the only one who has control over to Maple, and I'm able to use OpenClaw with that. Sweet. Okay. I am going to switch back for a second, back to the default Opus 4.5 model. I want to set up Signal, and I was having mixed results doing it with the Maple models this morning. So just for the video, I'm going to switch back to that. Which model is this? Okay, so now we're back on Opus. Okay, let's set up Signal. And I also wanted to show you how to use the web UI. Okay, so here's where it's going to get a little difficult in the video. And so I already have one set up that we can switch over to. This is like a cooking show where it's like, here's all the ingredients you need. And now it's going to take a while to bake. So let me pull out the finished product. So what it does is it makes sure that the Signal app is installed, the Signal command line interface. And then it's got my placeholder account. But then I have to actually set up a dedicated account, or I can link an existing one, right? And so you're gonna have to kind of talk through the setup and like walk through step by step, but OpenClaw can totally do that for you. I just had to keep following the steps, and once I did, I was able to connect it just fine. So let me pull over my Signal here. Okay. So this is a Signal. This is my other OpenClaw instance that I've been using, and I've been texting with it all day, actually, and all yesterday. Hi there. This is talking to Maple's API. So here I am. I've got Signal connected to OpenClaw using Maple models. So I am end-to-end encrypted throughout the communication and the AI process with OpenClaw in the middle. What's the weather in Austin today? Let's see what it does. See what it tells me here. And then while it's doing that, how do I open the OpenClaw web UI? It's just a URL that I copy and paste. Oh, that's right. I have to create an SSH tunnel, a reverse tunnel. Oh, shoot. Well, I just gave you my gateway token, so I'm going to move that off the screen. And I'm going to blow this away at the end of the stream anyway, so you won't be able to get to it. But let me put this back. What you need is you have to you have to create what's called a reverse SSH tunnel, and you can ask it how to do that. And you tunnel into your server, and then you load that URL in your browser, and then you copy and paste that gateway token into the web UI. There's a whole section, you go to overview and you paste it in there, and then that'll connect it all up, and then you can configure it through the web UI if you don't want to use the command line interface anymore. Let me see if this is still on. Okay, great. We're still on and connected. So let's go back here. It did respond. It's in Austin. It's sunny and 7 degrees Celsius. Feels like 5 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's about right. It's pretty chilly here today, even though it's sunny. I wish it wasn't giving me this JSON formatting, but here we are. So we're slightly over a half hour. I want to end it here, but there are so many cool things you can do with this, and I would love for people to kind of share what they're working on. I'm sorry that I couldn't show you like every single step to get Signal installed, but I got you as close as you can. Now you just have to set up your own Signal user, and then you go into Claude and say, okay, here's my phone number. It's going to send you a 2-factor authentication code that you put in, and then you'll link them together, and then you'll have this same interface here. So now I can be at the store and texting with OpenClaw. I can be at the gym and texting with my bot. You know, I can be, something can pop in my mind at night, and I can like pull out my phone and quickly text it. It's pretty awesome. I don't have to be using a command line interface anymore with it. I don't have to use a web interface. I wanted to show you, actually, let me scroll all the way up if I can. So I want to show you the very beginning. I did things in reverse order today with you on the video, so I'm going to end right here. The first thing I did when I set up OpenClaw is I actually set up the Signal integration, and I got that working. And then I just came in here and texted it and said, hey, I want you to add Maple. And I just told it, you know, I have a private AI that I use, and told a little bit about it, and I gave it the documentation. And it was like, okay, let me set up the proxy for you. And look at this. I sent it at 3:01 a.m. Yes, I was working late last night on this. I sent it at 3:01 a.m. And by 3:02, it had already installed the Maple proxy, had it up and running. Oh, well, I'm gonna have to get myself a new API key because I just burned that. But it gave me an API. I gave it my API key, and it set it up and got it running. So pretty awesome. Really cool stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and end here, and I'm gonna go burn my API key that I just doxed. But thank you for joining the stream. Let me check if there's any other questions that people have as well. Okay, that API key is gone. See you later, suckers. Nobody can get to it. Let me pull up the chat real quick. Oh, thanks. Appreciate that. Let's see. Okay. Just to be clear though, most components are private and secure, but if you're running a VPS, you got to be mindful if you can access VPS. Exactly, yeah, and that was kind of the beginning of the stream, talking about, are you going to run it on a server at home, or are you going to run it on a virtual private server somewhere else? So if you're running on someone else's hardware, they potentially can get root to your account. So you need to be aware of that. That's why a lot of people are buying Mac Minis and Mac Studios or old Linux boxes and just finding stuff in the closet and running at home. So there are trade-offs. There's definitely trade-offs. And again, this is new software. It's doing new crazy things, just like this Moltbot thing where they're all talking to each other now. So this is very experimental. I would not recommend connecting all of your personal life and all of your personal, digital life to this thing yet. And I don't recommend letting it run crazy on your home network unless you just feel like living on the edge or you feel like you can secure it really well. But that is it. We're gonna end it here. We're gonna call it. Thank you for joining. I hope that this was useful. As with anything, there's stumbling blocks along the way, but the great thing about using a tool like AI is it can help you get through those hurdles. So if you run into a problem, just talk to it and say, hey, help me solve this problem. Sometimes you just got to come on here and grab some of the documentation. There were a couple times last night where I just came in and I literally copied this entire page and just pasted it in there. Or you can give it the URL. Sometimes one works better than the other. You can give it the URL and it reads the page and it'll get you through and get you over that stumbling block. So anyways, check out openclaw.ai. check out trymaple.ai to get your end-to-end encrypted private AI. Right now, you have to have a pro account in order to get access to the API, and you have to buy API credits. We're looking at a possibility of merging those two together. So your API credits and your subscription will all just be kind of one bucket. That's not the case yet. So if you want to use this, you do have to buy additional credits. But if we do end up merging them, those credits will just be part of your account. So you're not going to lose anything by purchasing credits right now. But that way you can have more encryption and more privacy in your life with your AI bots. So let me go ahead and end the screen share so we can sign off. There we go. All right. Thank you for joining me. Hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you on